Updated the stream decker. All right, I think we're on our way.
Hey, Daddy, we're back.
All right, so blue-white flash. We tried a Dovin ban list yesterday that was a little bit more controlling than what this deck is doing, and I'm interested to see Dovin ban with a little bit more threats in it. So this deck notably is leaning on Tithe Taker as well, which was a card that I was very impressed with in the other black-white deck that we were just playing. Notably, this list is not playing Adanto Vanguard, which is a card I have been impressed with as well, so I'm interested to see how that feels. We do have History of Benalia, though, which is pretty powerful. So let's, 4 Diamond Mare. There's a little respect for the old aggro deck. Please keep in mind, if you want to critique Magic cards in the channel or make suggestions that we should change cards or add cards or remove cards, I'd encourage you to read the chat rules that you have to click past before you start typing in chat. You get very, very good examples of how to give constructive and specific feedback. And people who don't follow those rules for giving constructive specific feedback do get 10-minute breaks. 10-minute breaks for breaking those rules.
What's up, dude?
Can you take your tablet and go upstairs and help mommy? Can you take the ruler upstairs and help out? Take it up to mom. Thank you, buddy. Is there any way to pop the chat rules back up? Yeah, if you type rules here in chat, you'll get a link to the rules on my website as well. Or the bot's dead. Or the bot's dead, one of the two.
What is this?
There we go, there's the chat rules.
Come on, man.
How many lands are in this deck? Is it 25? There's 25. I'm gonna keep this on the draw with 25. Yeah, my VODs are subscriber only because I prefer people, if they're gonna rewatch archive, check out my YouTube channel. So everything ends up on my YouTube channel. I do my best to break it all up by deck. Well, magic happened to my opponent and they mulliganed to 4, so we're moving on to the next game here. Obviously the blue-white deck is unbeatable and we've broken standard. One thing that's awkward or interesting, depending on how you want to think about this deck, that's probably something that's going to end up changing, is like there's 4 Wrath Ship's Mage in this deck, and there's 0 of the 5/4 Flash Angel, which the 5/4 Flash Angel has just been totally absurd in the other deck that we've been playing.
Yeah, History of Benalia gets Flash, man.
History of Benalia is good with Flash. Let's be fair. Would you prefer me to subscribe or watch on YouTube? I mean, I'd always prefer your dollars. Dollars are great. I don't care where my subscribers watch because they already pay me. No, you see, Declan's the type of dude where when he has double riot, he chooses haste twice because you don't tell him how to live his life. You know, he don't care what's optimal. He's doing what he wants. That's fine. If you'd ever met Declan, you'd understand it. You know that that's a true statement. Gotta go quick. Quick. He's like hey, Betty and Gaming, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. What's the unhinged card that's got super haste? You can put it into play the turn before, but then you lose the game the following turn if you don't pay its mana cost. So this is a little thing here, but I'm gonna shock this in rather than shock it in next turn because I'd like to telegraph this rather than telegraph this. I'm gonna sing today. My girlfriend said I can't listen to you with volume since you ruined Green Day yesterday. Ruined Green Day yesterday? You mean sang a beautiful ode to Green Day? Rocket-powered Turbo Slug, that's the one. I knew there were people in chat that knew what that one was going to be. Yes, Planeswalkers are historic. However, it doesn't really make sense to play Planeswalkers at instant speed, right? Did I just let this happen and, like, flash and Wrath and pressure it? I think I do.
We begin. Bolus told me I should do this.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one. I feel like some of these might be fine, but I think just like not having the 5/4 Angel is like a big miss. Like the 5/4 Angel alongside Lyra sounds really awesome. I mean, if they Bolas, I would have absorbed. I think that's fine. Just play this the following turn. This does let them Niv Mizzet with stuff up here. And like, how do I beat this Niv Mizzet? I'm pretty sure the answer is like Weep Silently.
It's so good.
Yeah, at least like the Bant deck, we have a bunch of plummets in the sideboard, so we can kill it with that. And here we're just like, well,
hope you attack and I get to seal you away. That's like it. I mean, we can just make you.
I'm actually just cold to this card, right?
Oh no, you got Dovin, man. You're good.
You've got Dovin. I can flash in Dovin Bond, sir.
Wow,
Play Dovin Bond in response. Pew pew! Quake in the power of Dovin Bond.
They're reading this card like, why do you do this? I'm so confused. Oh, nice.
Oh, they're actually. Do I have any ways?
Are you Stone Cold? Nice deck building.
So like, this is card for card a deck list from Star City Games, by the way, that someone submitted. And I'm conceding the match and we're gonna change some stuff here because having 0 answers to Niv Mizzet in the 75, we have one way to kill a Niv Mizzet. We have one Cleansing Nova.
You got Deputy Detention,
Stop it.
Man.
Stop it. Let's put some playable cards in here.
That's fine. Oh, mercy. You could literally have tapped and then sealed it away. That's true. You could have.
Yeah, and then they draw cards, and they have Negate mana, and Spell Pierce mana, and all these other things.
You were pretty dead.
There's 4 Diamond Mare in the sideboard.
Oh yeah, you gotta beat mono red.
Let's get rid of the Deputy of Detentions and put some bindings in here.
Let's see how many.
Here's the problem. The problem with all of these other things that like the things that people are coming up with. Hey Brandon, thanks for the brand new Prime Support. I appreciate that. The problem with the things that people are talking about that are like roundabout solutions to Niv Mizzet is that all of these things require you letting your opponent untap with Niv Mizzet, and Niv Mizzet has a lot of text on his text box, but hidden in that pile of text is if you untap with this card, you win the game.
Yes.
That's in Niv Mizzet's text box. If you read it very closely, that's what his text box says.
Come on, game.
Absorb the Niv, right?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, we could Mass Manipulation. We could pay 6 and take it. All right, so we got 3 bindings, a Cleansing Nova, and a Mass Manipulation.
This all sounds awesome. Yeah, that sounds really
all right,
good.
let's
What in the world? Oh, mercy, God.
Yeah, it is. I agree. I think it's okay for 6 drops when they go unchecked to win the game.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm gonna try it basically card for card again, just putting a bunch of Excellence bindings on the sideboard. So if we hit another Niv deck, we can play. But low expectation. Listen, here's the secret to being happy in life. If you always go in with low expectations, it's difficult to be disappointed. So. No Angel of Grace. Yeah, so again, this is a viewer submitted list that actually came from a Star City Games testing session, I believe. So we're gonna play, usually I play 1 to 2 matches with decks that someone submitted before I make a bunch of changes. Just to give them a history lesson here. I agree that Diamond Mare also probably seems mediocre, but like only being in blue and white, what are other cards we could play that are good against aggro? Bask in my glory, opponent. Bask in the glory of the Hypnotoad. Wow! Has 2 of the same card. Who would draw 2 of the same card? Just the luckiest. Well, they decided to take our history lesson and told us to stuff it, so. A Shuffler. Shuffler, obviously correct. What are the odds of me having a 3 of and them having a 2 of, chat? Clearly, the Shuffler is broken. Oh, we are getting dumpstered. Woof. We're so good at this. We're so good at it. Punished for playing at sorcery speed, right? Get to the Thopter! Oh, no. We were just trying to deploy the Thopters. Oh, sadness. Sadness goes on the stack. What do you think, Matthew? Does sadness actually go on the stack?
No.
Or is it's just a state-based effect that happens?
Look how good that opened.
Look at you. Look at you. Matthew just opened double Dovin and 2 mythic wild cards. It's a shame Dovin's unplayable.
I just watched that card get flashed in, sir.
That card's got flash. It's great. Things are not looking good for our hero, chat. Oh, that's a little insulting. Alright, please stop. Please stop. Alright, we get a bunch of negates. We get a precog. We get a Tezzeret. This seems bad. This seems bad. Dovin's probably not great against other control decks. They probably keep our board pretty clear. Is there a point where it's correct to stop playing lands in? Yeah, definitely. But so, like, the turn I played the Teferi, I played my 7th land because playing the 7th land allowed me to play Teferi while playing around another copy of Quench, which is meaningful. Dovin's doing his best to get by in this hard world. Deploy, still feeling underwhelming. This is a card that we started out with 4 copies of the Bant Flash deck we've been working on, and it quickly moved from 4 to 3 to 2 to 0. Just like pretty underwhelming. I think I mulligan this.
Oh, nice. Sick.
I will say this. I am excited. So, like, Dovin, and obviously we're gonna play this deck for a little bit and like get a feel for what Dovin actually may or may not be doing. But playing Dovin in a deck like this, in a deck that has 2-drops, feels reasonable. I am excited to try Dovin in like a White Weenie style deck that plays like 1-drop, 2-drop Dovin on 3, like plus do stuff. Like that seems potentially very good. Like, if Dovin gets to like plus and get 3 loyalty next turn, like that's potentially very powerful, right? Put it on the mono tap land plan here. I think I leave up Absorb / Wrath here rather than play Tithe Taker out. Pod got added back to the queue, but it's towards the bottom. So, lots of decks in the queue. I'm actually not going to play Wrath out into a potential counterspell here. I also don't want this to get Vraska's contempted.
This tech gimmick is worth it.
Oh, I actually don't have Absorb. Oh god, this mana.
Nice.
Just good clean living. You're super 8. We re-added Teamer Pod. The Soul type build was not good. I'm gonna get bedeviled here. Absorb consistently on cast. Well, that's not true. We cast Absorb in the Bant deck. It was really hard to cast in the Esper deck, though. You're right about that. You are probably right. The plus ability on the 6-mana Planeswalker is probably better than the plus ability on the 3-mana Planeswalker. Are we going to get to do the thing? I think we're going to get to do the thing. Look at the top 10 cards, draw 3 of them. That's like a really good thing, right? Yeah, I take a donation for Turbo Nexus. I haven't played straight blue-green, but the Bant deck we played was kind of underwhelming. I'm definitely interested in trying out other configurations. He does hopefully find me blue mana. God bless. Lyra. I think I'm in for a quench here. Yeah, because I get to like, whoa!
That was cool.
That was, I love the little animations.
Trust me, you'll thank me later.
This lets me hold quench up here. So like, again, just like, looking at what Dovin did this game, I really want to try him in a deck with like 1 and 2 mana creatures. Like, I feel like a lot of the decks people have been putting him in, and this even includes this one, like, just aren't good homes because they're not aggressive enough. Hey, Blitzballs, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Collision Colossus is good. Consume, whatever that other card is that we're playing. What's it? Consecrate Consume is good too. I do have an aggro Dovin deck in the queue. We're gonna get to that at some point. There's a lot of great standard decks in the queue, and we're gonna be doing a bunch of extra standard until we get through them all. Yeah, basically Dovin and Counterspell Splash instead of Heroic Reinforcement Splash and White Weenie is the direction I want to take. I think Kaya has a place in standard? I don't think so. I don't think her text box is really meaningful. Yeah, exactly. Like, if the negative ability, like, if it even just killed 1 or 2 mana things, like, it would probably be close to playable, especially against aggro since she gains life on the plus. Yeah. But the fact that her down tick basically doesn't do anything makes it bad. Yeah. Ding, sweet. Yeah, I mean, like, her plus does at least synergize with the ultimate. Like I said, if her... God, this stupid absorb. If her plus... if her minus, like, had a meaningful impact on the board, it would be reasonable, but it just doesn't. Hey, JD Toss, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Can I ever beat that card? Like, in a million years?
Maybe yours will hold.
I got you, Turkey. So, this attack's really aggressive if they don't have a removal spell, so I get to block, jump, keep Dovin. I think that works out fine for me. Sound good, Blitz. I don't answer submissions obviously midstream, so you should get a response tonight after I'm done. That resolved, huh? So I think the fact that resolved means I'm gonna plus this. If this didn't resolve, I think I was gonna down tick. What's going on, Do? Yeah, I plan to do a longest stream again today, so I'm planning to go for another, I don't know, like 6 or 7 hours. You know, internet and children permitting. So, like, I could have theoretically left this back to protect Dovin, but, like, leaving this back means I would have had to chump, because Dovin would have only been at 2, because he got 1 from the attack there. Second history is a good draw. So far, it really just feels like the games I'm winning are because this deck... The games I'm winning involve draws that are, like, white weenie draws, not because we're doing flash things. Like, we're winning because of, like, our history. And, like, Dovin was good when we were doing white weenie things. We're working right now, Declan. Please, Blitzball. So I'll send you a detail with an email about how to send in the dollars. That is Declan. Yeah, I agree, Speed. It feels the best way to describe what's going on here is it doesn't feel cohesive, right? I feel like I've got just like a lot of blue and white cards that are just like, yeah, all these cards are blue and white and they're standard legal, but they don't feel like they're doing something meaningful together. Bub Jinx, thank you very much for the 8-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. This is the 2/3 of a year. I think I'm going to try and push around a couple of things after. Okay, sweet. That sounds sweet, Marty. Like some kind of Jeskai Dovin with heroic reinforcements. I mean, like, and like, this is a sweet example of Dovin, right? Like, even if they hit, like, Dovin gives you good insulation against sweepers in these aggressive decks, because, like, even if they clear my board here, I get to, like, draw 3 next turn, right? Which, okay, they swept my board.
You are no match for my foresight.
So, they have 3 mana up here, so I think I take land, history, Tithe Taker. And then, if I stick Tithe Taker, they then can't use a 3-mana counterspell on history. Pick 3 lands. What's going on, Sabits? Remember that time we ultimated Dovin and then we were like, well, I think we're behind here. I think we're that's how you know your Planeswalker's good, chat. After you ultimate it, you go, are we still dead? That's a pretty good one, actually. Did I just depose this? I think I just deposed this, right?
Tap and try and, yeah.
Because, like, I hit them for 3, and then, like, ultimating or flipping this doesn't do anything next turn, right? Right? Maybe I just had this in the wrong show. Like, depose deploy had been feeling mediocre, but, like, maybe we're just supposed to rebuild this to be more aggressive. It really is, Savits. Hey, Team Darkwater, thanks again for the entertaining comment. Thanks for shipping your Twitch Prime this way again, Team Darkwater. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. So, I feel like I'm looking at this deck, and I want to, like, pick and go in one of 2 directions here. I either want to take it and go up into a flash deck, like getting rid of the Dovin ban package, or I want to take it and I want to build down and lean into Dovin ban, allowing me to be aggressive. I think for the sake of what I'm doing here, I think, yeah, white weenie or mid-range, pick a lane. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, we've actually spent a lot of time playing something very close to the Bant Flash deck like Nox has been working on. I think I want to try leaning into Dovin. Hey, Transcendence, thanks for 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Let's try and build down and see how that ends up feeling. Let's get rid of these clunky, like leave some spell pierces in. Seal away is not great. I don't know if Curious Obsession is good. Just because, what's what I'm searching for? Curious Obsession, you need evasive creatures. Deck doesn't really have evasive creatures in it. So I'm not gonna fully, like, the person who submitted this, I think mostly wanted to see Dovin ban. So I think I want to lean into that. Nivik, if you're here, you could let me know. But like, as far as like Flash decks go, I feel like this is worse than the Bant deck we're working on. And Dovin's been interesting with this. So I think I'm gonna try and lean into that a little bit. I can't search 2-1, that's sad. What are the other good white 1-drops? This card's pretty good with Dovin, right?
Oh yeah.
I've seen some of the white aggro decks playing this card. It seems sweet.
Wow, no Curious Obsession. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I probably...
24 lands.
That's a lot of lands.
Yeah, so many.
I probably want some elephants.
Think so?
I have a bunch of ones.
Do you want like a couple negate, say spell pierces or negates in your main?
Where's the playable elephant? Venerated Loxodon.
Playable, how generous. Sky Marcher.
I think this card's just a good whatever.
Huh.
12 blue is probably plenty. Add another planes here. You want to run him upstairs.
Yeah.
God bless you.
I'm gonna let you somewhere. Right,
I'm gonna let you somewhere.
Because he might scream at me on ground.
All right, let's try something like this. Something that's a little bit more. It's a little bit more aggressive with Dovin. Oh, the Convoke Exile. Yeah, let's put those on the board. It's probably better than this. You need something you want to draw into with Dovin? Not really. So, like, with Dovin can just keep creating critical mass for you, which is not unreasonable. Dovin gets more poopers, which then makes it easier for Dovin to get more poopers. What's currently going on in chat is why I don't usually deck build on stream. Folks in chat that are suggesting cards, if you don't start doing it in the way that's recommended in the stream rules, you're going to get 10-minute breaks. Fair warning. Be constructive, be specific. Don't just say, why isn't this card good, and then expect me to shoot your card idea down. Sand's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Splash for Carnage Tyrant. There's a good chance we just run them over here on the play, right? Oh, they hit an elf. Okay, they could ramp up here a little bit. Yeah, I think there could definitely be a build of Dovin that, like, wants to play, like, you could splash Dovin into, like, mono blue tempo, but that's a different direction to take this in. So, like, again, that's one of the things that's great about a new Magic format, is that there's so many different ways to explore, like, what could potentially good, bad, or otherwise, right? Like, next turn's gonna be absurd, right? Like, we're gonna go Dovin, down tick, play the elephant on all 5 of the things. Yeah, Dovin, down tick, elephant is just, like, absurd here. They have a Spell Pierce. I guess they have a Quencher and a Negate. Look at that! Everybody thought Dovin was unplayable. Little did they know you cast him and your opponent concedes the game. Little did you know. Dovin OP. Yeah, like I said, I think, like, a lot of the other builds that I've seen Dovin wedged into and, like, submitted in, I haven't seen people test him in an aggressive show like this, and I really feel like if there's a place he can shine, it's going to be in something like this, where things are on the board and he can ultimate very, very quickly. Is Dovin better than Jace the Mind Sculptor? Magic. Alright, y'all ready to do it? No land 5. Snap it off, Sneeper, Keeper. Let's do it. It's fine, we're gonna draw 2 more lands, it's gonna be great. Everybody calm down. I'm playing the Marshal because Marshal has synergy with Dovin. The Black-White Angels deck was really, really good. The Black-White Angels deck is probably the best new deck that I've played so far. I mean, like, we were on 5, right? Like, that 5 is a keep every time. If that 5-card hand draws 3 lands in a row, it's, like, very reasonable. And that's one of the things that you have to think about when mulliganing. Like, the chance that we draw 3 lands in a row with that 5-land hand is far more likely than us having a good 4-card hand. Sounds good, Danon. From a pure power level standpoint, the Angels deck is the most powerful thing I've played so far. So playing this on 1 means I don't get to use the trigger to give something else indestructible, but at the same time, it also means that I get to push the most damage by attacking on 2 with it. No, I've not updated any of the standard decks on my website. I'm planning to take tomorrow off, so... And by take off, I mean I won't be streaming tomorrow. I am still going to be working. So tomorrow, I'm going to probably write my article and then update the deck list on my website. The Amulet deck we played this morning was very, very bad. I don't think any of those Nexus of Fate decks are very good in best of 3. They're like best of 1 cheese decks, basically. They're decks that are, like, good when people don't know how to play against them and don't have access to sideboard cards. That's true, too. We didn't really have much worth protecting. Man, that's... How do we ever beat a 3-4, chat? It's not worth trading my Tithe Taker for 3 points of damage here, I don't think. Or is it? Like, getting a flying token isn't irrelevant. Really? Okay. I'm super excited to trade that token for 4 points of damage. You can find all of the previous decks I've played on my Stream Decker page. You'll also be able to find the videos of me playing them on my YouTube channel later. YouTube.com/JeffOgland. Everything I stream gets cut up and put on there after I'm done streaming. Yeah, that's true. This is definitely a good board state where Sky Marcher is very, very good. I prefer your deck submission just be on a website that supports exporting to Magic Arena. So I believe Aether Hub has a functional Arena export option. This card probably makes a Johnny better, honestly. Just because, like, it's another meaningful 2-drop that a Johnny can get back. So, like, this deals 2, and I lose my Tithe Taker, but, like, after, like, makes a flying token here, which is, like, valuable. It's gonna get to, like, poke them in the air while I build up on the ground with Adanto. Are there any good Grixis Dragons deck? We played a few different Grixis Dragons deck that felt good before the new set releases, and with Blood Crypt, I think they get better, but we've not played it again yet on stream. Yeah, maybe this deck wants Pride of Conquerors. I didn't like Pride of Conquerors in the white-red version of the deck because it had heroic reinforcements, but this deck lacks heroic reinforcements, so maybe that's fine. There's a new card from the recent set, which is, what is that? What does that card do? It gives your stuff indestructible, which seems very reasonable. It gives yourself indestructible and, like, puts 1/1 counters on them or something if you play it during your addendum or whatever. Unbreakable Formation. Yeah, that's the one. Elephant was a great draw here. Yeah, the Angel deck is a Wallet Warrior deck. There's, like, 800 Mythic Wild cards in it. And that's 800 is rounding down. So if they play one more blocker here, they can block this, this, and this, and then they take 6 down to 4, which seems good for us. Bomberman, thank you very much for the brand new tier 2 sub. I really appreciate that. My tier 2 subs support me a little bit extra, so they get to bump a deck in my queue every month as a thank you for that. So be sure to take a look at the deck queue and let me know which deck you'd like to see a little bit sooner. Mythics are harder to get than rares. You just use less of them while you're building up your rare mana base. Trying to debate if they want to trade with Loxodon or not. They probably do because this flying creature is real good. This game's really shown the power of Adanto First Fort. Just like, we've flooded so much this game, but the fact that we flooded and have Adanto means we're still in the game. It's a good line from the opponent, getting to trade dive down for my Loxodon. They take 6 here down to 4. I still have my flying creature. I have a history coming into play. Need to make another token with this. I like that my opponent has been choosing to leave Hunted Witness alive with all of their blocks, because by leaving Hunted Witness alive, they don't give me an extra token out of it. No, all of the decks in my stream title are decks we still have yet to play today. As we play decks, I remove them from the stream title. Why? It does. Woof. The flying on this might lock this game up, so I was planning on this to run it down. Maybe History of Benalia can pop off in 2 turns. The stream title doesn't update on your end unless you refresh. There's nothing I can do about that, so I update it. But it doesn't always update for you. So if you've been watching for a while, you'll need to refresh as we go. I do have Depose in our deck still.
You're doing me a favor.
Alright, well, we've successfully gone wide. So they can make Grixis bigger and flip it, but like, I still just need to keep the board stalled, right? So this is popping off next turn for us. I'm getting to make another token here. There's definitely a situation where, like, I wish I had heroic reinforcements in my deck, right? And that's, like, one of the things we want to think about if we're playing a deck like this. Like, is Dovin better than just playing heroic reinforcements? So they have 5 blockers. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attackers. They get to eat one of these for free with this. Yeah, I think Unbreakable Formation would be a good addition. It's similar to Heroic Reinforcement. It's not quite the same, but similar. Yeah, we either uptick or swing, or we downtick plus play history. One or the other. I think I'm supposed to uptick and swing.
These contraptions have their uses.
So they're going to go down to 2 here. They're going down to 3 here. This seems okay for us. These blocks kill you. They have exile my thing, give me a 3/3. The back half of the double card. Okay, that makes sense. I think if you want to play a Johnny in this deck, you should play a Johnny in addition to Loxodon, not instead of it. I think Loxodon is one of the best things about this archetype. It's very, very good. It's basically a giant threat that makes the rest of your threats better, and it doesn't cost you mana. The tempo you gain from that card is huge. If they have an Explore creature as this last card, we're going to be in trouble, because they get to gain a bunch of life with this Wild Growth Walker. And they kept the Wild Growth Walker on top, so I think that means they probably have an Explore creature. Oh, God. Oh, God. Alright, they had a big donation there. Throwing 45 in, because it's kind of a neat idea that might need a little refining, so help with the mana board and main deck, and depending on the meta. Thanks for the content, thanks for the donation. Fear, I appreciate it. Alright, well that happened. Unbreakable Formation. Creatures you control gain indestructible, addendum, put 1/1 counter, and they gain vigilance. This card seems real good. I think I want to try this before I try Pride of Conquerors. This card seems much more like I wanted. The opponent wanted it way more than we did, and that's okay. Now, I think I want to try the creature that makes extra dorks when it attacks one more time. Oh, is the audio weird? Yeah, that sounds right. Sorry, I don't have my headset on. I'll restart here in a hot second. Matthew was hanging out, so I had my headset off. All right, that's fine. The sponsors love when the audio distorts every 3 hours like clockwork. These people are great. Buy their stuff. These people also great. Buy their stuff. Back to your regularly scheduled Magic Arena. All right. Mono red is fair because mono red is much worse when you have access to a sideboard card and best of 3. Mono red is much, much better when you're just playing best of 1 and are often going to be on the draw and never get to play a game on the play. What's my favorite deck so far? Definitely Bant Flash, although the Black White Angels deck we played felt really good. You can roundabout buy singles on Arena, so you buy booster packs on Arena to acquire cards, and then the packs that you buy come with guaranteed wild cards that you can turn into any cards that you want. Well, that is not how we drew it up. If we hit the land there, Dovin was going to be really good, like get to down tick and then like down tick Loxodon, but the fact that we've missed here probably means we're dead. We're not playing 25 lands. There's 23 lands, I think. I don't know, the deck list's on your screen. You can see the land count there. Yeah, everything that we stream gets uploaded to my YouTube channel. You can find that on my website as well. Alright, Spell Pierce is probably great here, right? That's just how Magic goes. Any reason for all the viewers today? Yep, just Arena is great and Standard's great. This is a little bit higher than the average that we've had all week. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out, by the way. 3,300 is awesome. But we've had 2K plus all week for Standard and Arena. Magic's always been a great game, and it's finally getting some of the spotlight that it deserves on Twitch, thanks to Arena being awesome. Finally have a great digital client to go along with what a great game Magic is. You think Azor's on par with Niv? No, it's not on par. It might be like a B-rate okay substitute because you can't cast Niv, but on par was definitely a far cry from correct, I think. That's also true. The way Twitch works, a lot of people who open up the channel, at least for a little bit, that search Magic on Twitch, almost always click into the first person to start. This hand is very, very good. Yeah, they can't be countered live on Niv. Very important. So I get to go History into Dovin into Loxodon. Someone else asked about Bant tokens. Sorry, I didn't catch your message at the time. I think Bant tokens is potentially a really great direction to take Dovin in. And because, like, someone else had mentioned earlier, like, with Dovin, you need something meaningful to dig for. And, like, in tokens, you can dig for... What's the Anthem effect? Not just the Anthem, but the Convoke Token Maker spell. So, like, if you ultimate Dovin and, like, find the Token Maker spell, that's really potentially very powerful. No, not Tender Shoot, March. Yeah, you could, like, find March, basically. How do you feel about marching here? Or formation? If I formation, this stays alive. No, chat, it gets a 1/1 counter because it's being cast during my main phase. So Indestructible doesn't save for Moment of Craving, but +1/+1 works. If you cast this spell during your main phase, put a 1/1 counter on those creatures and they gain Vigilance. We are in my main phase because sagas trigger in my main phase. No, they trigger in your main phase. Alright, good. Now that we understand that I know how magic works because I play magic all day, let's attack. Sagas trigger at the beginning of your first main phase. It's a pretty good draw. That should lock this up. Oh, they're just dead on board, right? Actually just dead on board? Lock it up. They're dead on board. Didn't matter. It's already been locked. Already thrown away. Someone asked for suggestions on how to get better at sideboarding. I actually had a good video yesterday where we highlighted a little clip about 2 minutes long talking about how to think about what goes in your sideboard and how to sideboard. One of the best pieces of advice I can give that you'll see us do in this video is practice sideboarding before you're playing the match. If your deck is well constructed, you should have a plan for common matchups that you think you're going to face before you're actually playing them. Oh, basic island.
How's this pile of cards been?
Less bad than the flash deck.
Oh, good.
To set a bar that you will believe, less bad than the flash deck. The teamer deck was sweet. The teamer pod deck. We actually ended up having someone throw it back in the queue by the end. Morning, Sunaroo. Well, this is good for us. It means they don't have a sweeper next turn, this turn, potentially. I think Crushing Canopy is really good. We had 2 copies of Crushing Canopy in the sideboard of Bant, and I was thinking about adding a 3rd. So, this is another one of the reasons why I love Loxodon in this deck, is because against the Ritual of Soot decks, we get to have a threat that adds to the board but doesn't play into Ritual of Soot, which is nice. So I'm sacrificing this even though they're not targeting the thing it's protecting, because if I sacrifice the thing Moment of Craving is targeting, my opponent does not gain the 2 life. We should probably be playing less islands, I agree. Walk the plank. Whoa. Wow, way to take my elephant out back. That's rude.
You ever seen an elephant like walk across one of those things? That'd be interesting.
Can the boat hold the elephant? I feel like there's a Vorthos issue here.
That would be quite interesting to watch.
We cut the Vana at the end Genesis approach. Okay. Matt's gonna poke his head in when we're playing a deck that he cares about.
Oh yeah, this one, I see like the list over there, and the rest of them are fine. This one I just had 0 interest. You said this is a Nivik deck?
Nivik's been in the
I'm not surprised.
So, I think we're gonna be done with this. What we ended up playing here was very different than what we started with. And normally I don't try and change things this much, but the original blue-white flash submission that we started with just felt so awkward and disjointed. I really didn't want to play more games with it, but I wanted to see a couple more games with Dovin. I think there might even be, so like looking at what this deck is doing, I think because we have access to all the shock lands, there might even be an argument to like playing a Jeskai aggro deck where you play Dovin and you play... You know what one of my biggest pet peeves are? My biggest pet peeves are when people put quotation marks around things I didn't actually say. I said the deck felt disjointed.
Nah.
which is a big difference. It felt like it was pulling in 2 different directions, so we rebuilt it in one of those 2 directions. Yeah, so like Dovin plus reinforcements could be sweet. I also think that the comment that we had in chat earlier about Bant tokens could be the correct way to approach Dovin, because Bant tokens is a deck that can tick Dovin up consistently and quickly, but it's also a deck that gets to dig deep and find meaningful cards that end the game faster with its -7. So like having big powerful plays to get with Dovin while also having ways to tick him up quickly seems like it's probably a good mix, and that that tokens is probably a good way to do that. All right.